Let's discuss Andrea Berta. It has been a very busy start to the summer transfer window with Kepa Arrizabalaga, Mosquera nearly over the line, Zubimendi come in already, Madueke come in basically already, he's had the here we go, Gyökeres nearly arriving at the club, potentially moves for Eze in the offing, potentially Hato links, and also potentially Rodrigo links. All that would show is that Andrea Berta firstly has been busy in his new role as Arsenal's sporting director, but also that he is being efficient and good at his job. Not only this, Nwaneri has also just signed a new deal. Now, that means it may surprise you to understand that I, personally, am slightly worried about Arsenal and the business that we will and can do in this window. A word that you may be surprised to hear me say about this window is underwhelming, and I think that it is because of Edu's last sort of 4 years or 5 years that he was at the club, his windows, and how consecutively we went for one target, we got the target, and then we added to different areas of the pitch. Now, I'm not saying Edu would have got the vast amount of deals over the line that has been needed. We probably wouldn't have the backup keeper in already. We probably would have only signed 2 to this point, being Hato and Zubimendi, I'd imagined, if it was an Edu window, because we were linked to Hato before, and we weren't linked to any of the other players prior other than Zubimendi, which is an Edu deal. But alternatively, though, I believe we probably would have signed a number 1 target, and I think we would have gone for him all summer, and that player is either Benjamin Sesko or Isak. What I'm trying to say is it worries me that Berta's going for a scattergun approach, because when you do a scattergun approach, eventually a lot of the bullets miss. Now, I am worried about the transfers. I made a Gyökeres video saying I'm worried about Gyökeres fitting into the club. I will support him when he comes in, don't get me wrong. I'm as happy as anyone if he does really well. But for now, I'm worried that he isn't the right fit for what Mikel Arteta wants in his football team. Not only this, but you've got the Madueke transfer, which doesn't make too much sense. You could get a left winger who can also play right winger, such as Rodrigo, but predominantly left winger to raise that level on that side to cover for Bukayo Saka. Alternatively, if you don't want to touch left wing, Martinelli's played right wing, so I don't actually think it's that big a deal if we had a striker in as well. The issue last season was we had Havertz out at the same time we had Saka out. We also had Ødegaard out earlier in the season, so on and so forth. And Gabriel Magalhaes at the end of the season, etc. So it was all compact at the same time injuries. It wasn't just that Saka went out and we couldn't cope. Yes, that had something to do with it, but what I'm trying to say is there are different ways to solve the issue, and I'm not sure Madueke for 50 million is the right way. That said, I do like the player, I like the profile, and I'll be supporting him again when he comes in. Mosquera is another one I want to discuss. Lacks a lot of Prem experience and is very young. Will he be able to deputise well enough? Is he an improvement on, say, Kivior? If Kivior had to come in, maybe not. I don't know. We won't know that until we see it. All in all, then, what I'm trying to say is I am just worried about Andrea Berta's approach to Arsenal. Edu was really good. I liked what he did. As much as, yes, last summer didn't go to plan and we didn't get Sesko, who was the main target over the line, you could see what he was trying to do. We needed a left back, he brought in a left back. We needed a centre mid cover in that left 8, he brought in a centre mid in Marino. Then, unfortunately, you just couldn't get that final target over the line, and it left us slightly short. And I understand that that is the negative when his policy doesn't come off, as opposed to Berta. Like, for example, Berta, no matter what we were going to get a striker this window, just it might not be the one we wanted. But I'd rather get Arteta the exact player he wants, which is obviously, in this instance, Sesko or Isak. But anyway, only time will tell. As it stands, we've signed Kepa Arrizabalaga, Norgard, Mosquera basically done, Zubimendi, looks like we're going to get Gyökeres, Madueke, and it looks like we're going to get Eze, right? My issue is, I don't feel any of those are level raisers to the team. Now, Eze is obviously the biggest name there, and if we get Rodrigo, that would change. But in terms of pure output, ignore the player. I know that Eze is a better player than Trossard, but in terms of pure output, Trossard had, 18 goal contributions last season or something like that? Will Eze do as much in terms of output? I'm not sure. Sure, he'll be better in transition, he'll be better one-on-one, he'll be better dribbler, but in terms of just raw numbers, will he replicate that, and will we be able to live without Trossard's numbers if Trossard leaves? That's the whole point. It's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of difference from our usual way of dealing with transfer windows, and I'm just not sure, and I'm not confident that we are doing things the right way. Obviously, as much as any other Arsenal fan, I do really want us to win this season, and I hope that I'm proven wrong. But it just feels like there's too much variables within this transfer window. I liked it when we got a specific target, and we got that specific target. You think, obviously, Ben White. You think other transfers like Declan Rice, who's like best in class. None of the players we've gone for are best in class, and I don't think you can get a best in class player by doing such a scattergun approach. If it was Edu, we wouldn't have bought the striker by now. We would have waited for the market opportunity, and that market opportunity would have been Alexander Isak, and we would have gone for him. And I have no doubt in my mind we would have gone for him. We might not have got him ahead of Liverpool, and that's a different kettle of fish. But we would have gone for Isak and fallen back on Sesko. And that's kind of where my head's at. I'm just a bit disappointed, especially with the news about Liverpool trying to convince Newcastle about Isak. I'm just a little bit disappointed that we are not at that table anymore. And it does coincide. When Edu left, the links to Arsenal died down a lot for Isak. If you remember, just before January, all of Sky were saying Isak would be perfect for Arsenal and stuff. Like that was a thing that media was trying to tout. So yeah, it's just unfortunate, really. But yeah. Anyway, I hope you have a more positive outlook than me, because I certainly do not right now with how Andrea Berta's transfer window is going. And I'd love to be proven wrong, but I've seen a lot of praise online, and I just wanted to sort of say how I was feeling, because I disagree kind of with the praise. Maybe that's a bit harsh, I don't know, but just let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.